Alright, guys, I'm back. I'm back. Oh, guys, I'm tired. It's late at night. I'm still trying to record. I am still messy. I'm gonna take a shower, just eat my bed. I gotta bring you guys this content because, like I said, late in content, but the craziness is still there. So, you guys saw the heading: Drinkers to Plessis get screwed by Dana White and the UFC. Guys, look, I'm sorry, but I don't think he got screwed. I think he screwed himself. So let's break it down. Dricus Duplessis goes into the UFC, wins. But his skill set is not really, the itch. You know, he's winning fine, whatever. He's not beating really big names, and then boom, he gets a big fight. Robert Whittaker beats Robert Whittaker, and then Adesanya starts yapping about, being a real African and da 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 da. We all know the whole story and everything that happened there. Now that then triggered this whole ripple effect of Dricus Duplessis fighting Israel Adesanya. There was this storyline, there was this madness going in there. So Dricus's ticket to the middleweight title was Adesanya. Adesanya wanting to fight him, and that whole story behind it was the whole thing. Sweet. Where Dricus messed up is that he chose his injury and getting it sorted because he felt like he was the big boy now. He caused the shot. He's the big thing now. He's the kid that walked in there from South Africa and he shook the champion. Okay. But he knew Adesanya had to fight. He knew they were not going to wait for him because Adesanya already had a fight coming up. He tried to get him in. He wanted to take his time. Cool. Adesanya didn't fight Sean Strickland. And losers. Now, Adesanya is Dana White and the UFC's cash cow. It's like, damn. Nobody, not even I, expected that fight to go the way it did. The left us all shocked. Now we all sitting there thinking, damn, what the hell's going to happen? So we know Adesanya is getting the immediate rematch. But rumors has it now, Adesanya might be out for a minute because, bro's going through a little bit of problems. Alright? So, Adesanya not competing dies immediately with Dricus' story and Dricus' title opportunity because his title opportunity or his title chances did not derive or come from the fact that he was this amazing fighter. Because if that's the case, then Hamzat would have gotten a title match a long time ago. So many other fighters were exciting. Petty, the Baddie, and all those guys after the 2-3 fights would have gotten title fights. As much as the UFC has the ranking when it comes to competing against the champion, especially when he's beating most of the people in the ranking, it all becomes about, does it make sense? Is there a storyline? Is it exciting? Dricus screwed himself over thinking that he was the big boy now and he could call the shots in the UFC. Adesanya losing the title made matters even worse on top of that. Because his whole thing depended on him beating Adesanya. Now there was no longer a storyline, him fighting Sean Strickland. I said it on the video. You guys go check that video out. Dricus Duplessis versus Sean Strickland just didn't make any sense. There's nothing there. And the UFC doesn't just make title fights because they are two great fighters that need to fight. There's always a storyline behind it. Dricus needs to start creating beef unnecessarily up in that bitch. Facts. So did the UFC screw over Dricus Duplessis? No, they didn't screw him over. They did business. So let me tell you the mistake that Dricus continues to make, and he made also. What happened right now with Hamzat and Paul Costa? So I'll give you guys an example with myself. So I'm back in the fight scene and I'm trying to get myself a fight with a specific promotion. So their last 2 fight cards has had middleweights in them and light heavyweight. So I fight at middleweight, but I don't mind fighting at light heavyweight. That's my walking weight. And I contacted them. I said, hey, listen, I'm training. I'm ready. If any of the fighters miss weight, I'm ready to take over. So every time they have a fight card, they got a middleweight thing, I go into camp. Well, I'm always in camp anyways. I'm always training. So I start training. I make sure I make weight. And I show up on the weighing. And if there's any issue, this guy is available. For Usman to be ready to take that fight, that means he was training. Because there's no way he's just going to make middleweight within those short period of time because it takes time to cut those weights. Drickers needed to be smart. He needed to have contacted the UFC. Hey, listen, I see Hamza and Paul Costa fighting. If any, these guys have missed weight in the past, things have happened in the past, can I start getting ready to be a replacement for this fight if anything happens? And that would have immediately taken him back to the title contention. And Drickers versus Strickland, Drickers takes that fight all day, every day. She's too rough for Strickland. He's gonna be moving too forward. Now, Hamzat versus Usman is happening, and I've done a video on that. You guys can go check that out. It's the video that just got uploaded before this one here. And one of the winner of that fight gets a title. And if it's Usman, then Drickers can get another opportunity because they're not going to recycle. Because there won't be anybody else. Then definitely Drickers can get another opportunity because Usman has gone through that whole division. But this is crazy to think that Usman came through from the welterweight division to the middleweight to take that, and then he's gonna go for that title. Because guys, remember, Usman never wanted to fight Adesanya because they're brothers. Now he's coming to the middleweight division. I wonder what weight he walks in so he can be able to cut to 84. He's chased Hamza to the middleweight division. This is crazy. This is crazy. This is madness. Now I'm thinking Usman becomes champion. Adesanya comes back. Does that fight eventually happen? That's a story for another day, right? The welterweight division now is obviously between Bilal Mohammed, Kobe Covington, and all those guys. Since Usman has gone to the middleweight, I don't think he's gonna cut back weight into the welterweight. Yeah, especially if he beats Hamza. Usman immediately, I'm telling you, he's going to become champion again. And it's going to be a very interesting because then that means he has to go through the whole division all over. That means Drikas is definitely going to be the next one in line because Usman happens to be Nigerian, like Adesanya, they happen to be brothers, and then he might come to be like, okay, you know what? So shy for what you said about my brother. Boom, you know what I'm saying? That might happen. That might happen. But Usman needs to become champion for Drikas to possibly see the middleweight title. If Hamzat becomes champion, if Hamzat beats Usman, fights Strickland, and becomes champion, that means there's two events that Drikas sitting. Drikas would have fought already. Who is Drikas fighting? That becomes the issue. Who is he going to fight? Because he was number one. Who is he going to fight? And I promise you, whoever is going to fight, Dana White's going to make sure it's somebody tough because they can't afford to have Drikas win another fight because it complicates things in the top. This is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting. But Drikas made a mistake. He should have been the one being replacing in this fight. He should have put his name down. He should have been ready. We all knew between Hamzat and Paul Costa, one of them, something would have happened. That's my opinion on this shit. I think Drikas screwed himself over. I think he should have put himself in a position where, you know, he was ready to replace any of these fighters. Be smart, man. This is a business. This is a business. Don't think you're bigger than the business, especially when it comes to the UFC and Dana White. You know, it's all about the money, man. It's all about the Benjamin. And unfortunately, yeah, man, Drikas screwed up, and the UFC has gone that way. And Dana White keeps throwing hints every time you hear his interviews. He keeps throwing hints. Doesn't matter how much you cry. You go on social media and you tell your fans, "Oh, Dana White just screwed me. Dana White did this. Dana White what? Dana White what?" Doesn't matter. Dana White will always do what Dana White feels is right for him in the UFC and to make himself more money. Sometimes he's even just going to do it just to tell you. Next time when I tell you to do something, you do something. Dana White is a dictator. You gotta accept that factor. It just works for the UFC, I guess. Because if he didn't do things that way, there are certain matchups that wouldn't have happened that would have loved to see happen. So all I'm saying is Drinkers gotta play smarter, man. You gotta be ready, bro. You gotta be ready. You can't always be in fight camp. You must be in fight camp. You must always be fight ready, especially if there's a middleweight event coming. Drinker should be fighting on that card. He should be the one fighting Hamza right now. I'm hoping we can see him. Wait, we are now in what, October, November. I don't even know what month we are in. 10th month. Yeah, October. So I'm hoping the event in November, Dricus is in there against who, nobody knows. But at least if he's in there, by the time Hamzat is ready to defend his title, I promise you Sean Strickland is not getting an immediate rematch. And I keep saying Hamzat because I know Hassan is gonna beat Usman and then he's gonna fight Sean Strickland next year. So by the time Dricus fights this year, if he fights in November, December, by the time Sean Strickland and Hamzat are fighting, Dricus is gonna have to fight again because he can't sit for that long. And who is he going to fight? The chances are Dricus is gonna end up fighting Usman because Usman would have lost against Hamzat, and then he needs to make a statement. Dricus is sitting around waiting to see what's going on. Usman then starts, tickling him. So regardless of the outcome for Usman, if Usman wins, then Dricus becomes a better option to fight because there's a storyline that can be created. Then if Usman loses and Dricus has to sit around for too long, he also has opponents that he can go around and beat. Can Dricus beat Usman? Yeah, yeah, I think he can. Dricus is physically strong, so Usman won't be able to just keep Dricus down. That's the one thing that I know for sure. So, yeah, man, guys, look, y'all let me know what you guys think. That's my opinion on this fight. Yeah, man, I think Dricus screwed himself over. Um, he should have found a way to nurture that injury, train with the injury, and hope it heals. And by the time it's fight nights, he's feeling much better. Should have never allowed that title opportunity to slip his hand. It's gonna be tough to get. It's gonna be tough to get. Anyways, I'm your boy Uncle P. Guys, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.